This was the last time I saw her. Tears rolled down my face as she walked away. I told myself I would move on, but moving on was the biggest mistake of my life. I betrayed her, I betrayed my daughter, and now I am paying the price. Years ago, I was one of the wealthiest men in my city. My company was thriving, my home was filled with laughter, and my wife and daughter were my greatest treasures. But happiness is fragile. One decision, one weakness, can shatter everything. It started when my wife left for a year-long job contract. The house suddenly felt empty. Nights were cold, meals were silent, loneliness became my shadow. My friends noticed, and one evening they dragged me to a party. Bright lights, loud music, endless drinks. That night I met her, Lisa. She was young, beautiful, and dangerously charming. She smiled like she had known me all her life. Before I reached home, her message was waiting. When next can we meet? I should have ignored it, but I didn't. That was the beginning of my downfall. Lisa knew how to make me feel alive again. She called when I was lonely, flattered me when I was weak, and when my wife and I argued, she whispered, "Why suffer when you deserve better?" Slowly, I gave in. I brought her closer, and eventually, I married her, even though I was still legally bound to my wife. At first, it felt like love, but soon, the truth showed. Lisa despised my daughter. She mocked her, punished her, and twisted my mind against her with lies. The little girl who once looked at me as her hero now feared me. But Lisa's hatred didn't stop there. She wanted more. She wanted everything. One by one, my businesses collapsed. Properties were sold without my knowledge. Bank accounts drained. By the time I realized what was happening, it was too late. The empire I built with sweat and years of sacrifice was gone. The woman I trusted had destroyed me, and the daughter I loved no longer believed I loved her. I was a broken man. But then, when I least expected it, she came back. My real wife, the one I had betrayed. I thought she came to curse me, to laugh at my misery, to remind me of the pain I caused her. Instead, she came with silence and strength. She had built her own wealth while I was falling apart. And while I had given my heart to another, she still chose to give me her hand. She hired the best lawyers. She fought Lisa in court. She exposed her lies, her fraud, her betrayal. Piece by piece, my stolen empire was restored. And when it was over, I stood face to face with the woman I once abandoned. I wanted to speak, but words failed me. Then she said softly, "I didn't come back for you. I came back for our daughter." Those words cut deeper than any wound. But that day I realized something. Love is not beauty. Love is not charm. Love is sacrifice. Love is the woman who stood by me, even when I didn't deserve her. Lisa's empire of lies finally collapsed. The court ruled against her, and everything she stole was stripped away. But even with my properties restored, my heart remained empty. I stood in the courtroom, surrounded by papers and lawyers, yet I felt like the poorest man alive. My daughter stood beside her mother, refusing to look me in the eye. Her silence hurt more than all I had lost. That night, I sat alone in the mansion Lisa almost stole from me. The house was full, yet empty. Walls echoed with silence. The wealth was back, but the warmth was gone. For weeks, I tried to reach my daughter, but she pushed me away. Every attempt I made reminded her of the years I abandoned her for Lisa's lies. But I didn't give up. I showed up at her school events. I called even when she didn't answer. I wrote letters she never replied to. Slowly, very slowly, she began to see my efforts. One evening, I returned home to find her waiting in the living room. She held one of my old photographs, me, her, and her mother, smiling together before everything fell apart. She looked up at me, tears in her eyes, and whispered, "Daddy, promise me you'll never leave us again." That was the night my heart broke and healed at the same time. I embraced her with tears streaming down my face, and for the first time in years, I felt whole again. Yes, I had lost so much. I had betrayed the woman who stood by me. I had nearly destroyed the love of my daughter. But in the ashes of my mistake, I was given one last chance, and I swore I would never waste it again.